Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Max. I run an SMMA, a super niche marketing agency, and on this channel we explore how to start, run and grow a successful marketing agency that can help us generate great results for our clients, but also help us as the entrepreneur to achieve financial, time and location freedom. So if that sounds interesting to you, consider subscribing and following along on the journey. In today's video, I want to talk about how to onboard new clients in a marketing agency. So I'm going to talk about how to set expectations, how and why you should sign a contract, why and how you should do an onboarding call with your new client, why it is super important to have full transparency with your clients, and then finally I want to talk about why speed is perfection when you onboard new clients. So let's just dig into it and talk about point number one, which is to set the right expectations with your new client. So really the onboarding of new client really begins when you have the first interaction with that specific client or potential client. So let's say in my case, for example, when we sell Facebook ads to roofers, we run a lot of Facebook ads to roofers. And that's really when the onboarding begins, because the first interaction that they have with me or my business or my brand or my team, that is going to be like the setting the stage for the actual onboarding. And what I mean by that, it's that it's going to set the expectations. Like, what do we promise them in the ad? When they come to our website, what do we promise them on the website? Maybe we have like a sales letter video that they watch on our website. What do we promise them there? What type of expectations do we set there? And when we jump on a sales call, what type of expectations do we set there? Do we promise them the world and then under deliver? We don't want to fall into that trap, but we want to set clear expectations of what it is that we're going to do, what we've done in the past, what type of service we are going to deliver, what service we're not going to deliver. That's an important one. How long we're going to work together, and also just general stuff, just setting the expectations right so that they know what they are going to get and what they're not going to get. And why that is important as well is that when you run a super niche marketing agency, or if you're a super niche personal trainer or whatever that might be, you just want to focus on one thing and become really, really good at that, and you want to say no to everything else essentially. So my point here is that when you onboard a new client, it's super duper important to set the expectations right. And you have to set the expectations right during the whole sales journey with that specific person or that specific client, in your marketing, on your website, in your promotions, in your sales calls, everything. It's so important to set the expectations right. So that takes me to the next point, and that is to sign the contract. And when I started my marketing agency, I didn't sign any contracts, but signing a contract is actually vital to do, especially when you run a marketing agency. It's not just good for you as the marketing agency owner or the business owner, but it's also very good for the actual client that you're working with. Because when there are two parts who do business, the buying part want to know what it is that they're going to get, what the pricing is going to be, and they just have that feeling that they know what it is that they're going to get. For example, when you've set the expectations right initially and then you sign a contract for that, it's very good for the buyer to kind of understand what it is that they're going to get essentially. But it's also very good for you as the seller, obviously, to once again kind of reiterate what the expectations are, what it is that you're going to deliver, how long it's going to take with the onboarding, how much it's going to cost, or how long you're actually signing an agreement. Maybe you sign an agreement for the first 4 months and it's going to cost this amount of money every single month, and then after that it's month to month. Then you have to sign a new contract maybe, or whatever it might be. So signing a contract is vital, and nowadays it's super simple to sign contracts, right? I'm in Sweden, and let's say I onboard a new client in the US, because we only have clients in the US. There's a ton of services that you can use. We use a service called HelloSign. It's actually free to use for your first 3 contracts per month or something like that. And you can just find like a template online or just write the contract yourself, a simple contract. The most important thing when you do a marketing agency is going to be like, what is it that you're actually going to deliver? And we normally just point out what it is that we're going to deliver in the setup stage. So initially, what it is that we're going to build for them. We're going to build a landing page. We're going to create the ad copy. We're going to set up the Facebook ads accounts, the tracking, the pixels. We're going to decide banner ads, retargeting ads, etc., etc. And then for the ongoing management, we're also pointing out what we're going to do on a day-to-day basis. So we're going to check on their ads on a day-to-day basis. We're going to continue to test new ads and new campaigns, etc., etc., new targeting, new images, new videos, etc. So my point here is that you should definitely sign a contract, not just for your own sake, but also for the client's sake. You have to come to agreement on what it is that you're actually going to do. It creates the feeling that you're actually committing to something and that you're actually serious about what you do essentially. So super important that you sign a contract when you onboard new clients. So after you've done your marketing, you've done your sales, you've set the expectations, you actually got a client that wanted to buy, and now they've sent you the money and they've also signed the contract, the next step is to do the actual onboarding call. And how I used to do onboarding in the past was that I had like a Google sheet and I just sent them a sheet essentially with a ton of questions like what's the login to your website, what's the login to your Facebook business manager, what's the login, can you share like your access to your page, what images do you want to use in your ads, do you have any images or do you want our help, how much ad spend do you want to spend, etc. I just sent them like a Google form with a ton of questions on it. And that worked, but how we do things now is that we actually jump on a Zoom call with our clients and we have kind of the same questions now again, but we also help them to onboard them into our business. So we basically show them on a screen that click by click how to set up the business manager, how to invite us to their Facebook business page. And we just think that it's a nicer touch to actually do the onboarding with them. And it's also quicker because sometimes when you just send them a form, they don't know how to give you access to certain things and they have to go back and forth and it can take like weeks for them to get that information. So it's just faster to jump on a 1 hour call and you help them with it essentially. And also the onboarding call is also something that helps you to set the expectations for the partnership to come. Like once you have actually got a client who signed a contract with you and they paid you the money, they are still trying to figure out if you are the right guy for them. Like sure, they trust in you, they believe in you, they have seen what you've done in the past, but they're still trying to see if you're the right guy for them essentially. So you want to continuously prove yourself to them by showing that you care essentially, showing that you're on the ball, that you're taking this seriously, and doing an onboarding call face-to-face on a Zoom call where you actually walk them through and tell to them that, hey, we actually want to do those Zoom onboarding calls because it's just quicker for us to get started. It shows to the actual client that you actually care about getting them the results that you promised them. And this is just good things to do if you want to keep clients long-term, which I'm sure you want to do. You don't want to churn and burn through a ton of clients, but you want to find a few clients that pay you good money and want to keep them for the long term essentially. So doing the onboarding call, the personalized onboarding call, definitely helps you to keep clients longer. The next thing I want to talk about on how to onboard new clients into your marketing agency is transparency. And this kind of ties together with my previous point about like showing that you care all the time. And what I mean by transparency is that you want to show to your client and prove to your client that you're the real deal, that you are actually caring about their business and what they do. So with full transparency, for example, if you run ads for somebody, if you have a copywriter who written some type of ad copy for that specific client, show the client the ad copy, show them what you've built, show them the follow-up messages that you've built with the CRM, for example, show them what type of text messages that are going to send from the marketing automation, show what the ad is going to look like. A great tool to do this is a tool called loom.com. You can send like a screen recording video to the client before you actually start the work. So you've done the onboarding right, you've got everything, and now you've prepared everything to actually deliver to the client. What I always do and what my team always do is that once we have built everything, we just record a screen recording video using a tool called loom.com as mentioned, and we show them everything. We have full transparency on everything. Here's what the ad campaign is going to look like. Here's what type of targeting we're going to do. Here's what the ad copy says. Here are the images that we're going to use. Here's what the retargeting ads look like. Here's what the CRM looks like. Here's kind of what the sales pipeline look like. Here's what the follow-up messages look like. So we just want to give our clients kind of feeling that they're on board with everything, that we have full transparency with the client, that they understand completely what it is that we're going to do for them. Because a lot of marketing agencies out there, they don't have full transparency. They're doing a ton of shady stuff, and not all of them is like ripping their clients off by no means, but they're just doing shady stuff that benefits the agency than the actual client. So when you have a business relationship, as with any relationship in life, right, you want to have trust there, and you can only build trust with your clients by having full transparency, by showing them that you actually care about their business, their brand, that you're respecting them, and that you're doing everything for their benefit essentially. The only way to make you and your agency to actually grow and benefit is to make your clients grow and benefit essentially, and having full transparency is crucial. The final thing that I want to talk about when it comes to onboarding new clients is really that speed is perfection. And this is something that I learned quite early on when I started my own personal entrepreneurial journey, is that speed is perfection. And What I mean by that is that by being on the ball and showing your new client that you're currently onboarding, that you are actually there for them and that you have them as the top priority is super duper important. So for example, if they send you an email question, respond to it as soon as you can. Maybe you can respond to a Loom video even. Once you've gone through the onboarding call and they've given you all of their information, keep them updated day to day. Don't put it off. Keep them updated, build everything to them. Speed is perfection. Show them that you have them as the priority. Send them Loom videos with an update all the time, showing you everything that you do. It's pretty simple. Like, speed is perfection. Like, just think about it yourself. Like, if you bought a service from somebody and you want help from somebody, you want that person to show you that they care. You don't want them to kind of ghost you or don't respond to anything or just put you off. That's gonna create a very, very bad feeling. So when you onboard new clients, specifically for like an SMMA, a super niche marketing agency, you definitely want to show them that you care every single step of the way. And having like speed is perfection as a mantra is gonna help you so much. Because normally what happens when you onboard a new client is that the most of the work is actually in the beginning. It's the marketing, you get them to the sales call, maybe they don't buy immediately, so you have to chase them a bit, and then you get them on a second call, then you actually agree on something, they buy from you, that you sign the contract, you do the onboarding, you build everything for them. There's a ton of work there. But then after that, the ongoing work, it's not gonna be as time consuming and as heavy, if that makes sense. After that, you can just check on your campaigns. Let's say if you're starting a marketing agency and you just want to keep that client for the long term. But like, my idea here is that put in a lot of effort initially, show them that you care, make a really, really good first impression, stack the deck in your favor essentially by doing speed, by keeping to the mantra like speed is perfection, and you can win a client for life essentially. We have clients that we've been able to work with for years right now, and I think that's because we just set a really, really good first impression with them essentially. So that's basically my 5 tips on how you should onboard a new client for your marketing agency this year. Set the right expectations, sign the contract, also do an onboarding call. I recommend to do like a Zoom call to onboard the client, have full transparency with the client all the time, and also speed is perfection. Show the client that you care, do a lot of heavy lifting initially, and you're gonna be able to live on that for a long time and have a client long term that's gonna pay you good money and be very happy with you essentially. So that's basically it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, consider subscribing and following along on the journey on how it is to start, run, and grow a successful marketing agency that can help you achieve financial time and location freedom. If you want to watch more videos, you can check out this video. And yeah, thank you so much for watching again. Have a great day.